This is Cassie from Force Publique, and you're listening to Literati Records podcast.
Hey, welcome to episode 47 of the Literati Records podcast. I'm your host, Marcus, and I want to thank you for tuning in, turning on, and supporting independent music. What a great weekend it was for music. So many good shows, and of course the Westward Music Showcase. I got to see a bunch of bands, some for the first time, and some old favorites too. What a warm-up for the UMS coming up next month. If the WMS is a sprint, the UMS is definitely a marathon. A few quick announcements, and on we go to our feature. Still no word from our $100 cash giveaway winner, Andrew Mills 990. If your email begins with Andrew Mills 990, send us an email from that account to literati@literatirecords.com and claim your $100 cash prize. Hey, you could win our cash prize for June. Get on over to our website at www.literatirecords.com and sign up for our email list. There are a few rules and guidelines listed with the form, so be sure to look those over as well. You can also connect with us on Facebook and Twitter. We mostly reserve our website for podcast posts and a few other pages, but Facebook and Twitter are where we like to interact more directly with the independent music community. My guests on the show today are Denver Darkgaze duo Cassie McNeil and James Wayne, known collectively as Force Publique. What began as a college songwriting project has taken wings and grown into an intelligent and articulate musical entity that continues to evolve and push itself into new sonic atmospheres. With their latest release, a 21st century reworking of the Smashing Pumpkins classic Today, Force Publique acknowledges the music of their past while forging confidently ahead into the potential of their own bright future. For a complete track listing of today's episode, check out the show notes at www.literatirecords.com. Now, meet Force Publique. All right, I'm down here at Larimer Lounge with Cassie and James from Force Publique. They're going to be playing tonight, opening up for Big Black Delta. Pretty exciting show.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really excited for it.
Well, for those who might not be familiar with the band, give us a brief history of how the band started, how long you guys have been together.
We started a couple years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Started by writing songs for a songwriting class that I was in college, and we had come up with like 8 songs or something like that, and decided that they were good enough that we should just roll with it. And since then, we've been playing shows and trying to be a legitimate band since then.
Well, before forming Force Publique, did you both come from an electronic ambient background?
I was in a rock band before, playing guitar, and I've always liked shoegaze and grunge music.
I came from like a hip-hop instrumental beat kind of a background, so I got into making music originally.
Well, your latest release is a sonically dense cover of the Smashing Pumpkins song Today from Siamese Dream. What made you decide to do a cover of that track?
When I was growing up, that song was always on the radio. I never really listened to the Smashing Pumpkins that much besides that song because that was their hit. It was kind of a random decision where we were just going back to the songs that we listened to growing up, and we thought we could transform that song to make it completely different than it actually was. We didn't want to make a song that was too similar to what we were already doing so that we'd be compared too much to it, so...
Why didn't you choose Owner of a Lonely Heart by Yes?
It's in Grand Theft Auto Vice City, which happens to be one of my favorite video games of all time.
Nice. Now, I saw your video for the song. Very nicely done. Did you guys make that yourself?
Yeah, we filmed it with a friend of ours, Ian Walker, that does video production freelance, and then we edited it ourselves, and had to kind of learn Final Cut in order to edit it. So it was an arduous process, I would say.
Came out very well.
Thank you.
Now, Cassie, in a recent interview, you said, "I don't think people notice happiness as much as sadness when they're feeling it. They think happiness is just normal, but they remember the sadness because they really feel it." Does that sentiment kind of come across in your music?
Yeah, I think so. I've always just wanted to make people moved by the things that I'm playing rather than just another like party kind of song. I just want people to come back from the show feeling emotions that are more connected to things that they feel when they're by themselves at home instead of things that you usually feel when you're in a crowd.
Would you guys say that the band is a cathartic vehicle for you, allowing you to express your own melancholy sometimes?
Definitely. A lot of my lyrics are really personal. So I do use it as like a sort of therapy in a sense, and also just as expression instead of telling someone how I feel. I feel like I can express it more with music.
Now, I've read that you guys kind of have a common affinity for the music of Joy Division. And James, you even commented, "It sounds really modern to me. It sounds sort of like the time we're living in, even though it came out 30 years ago. There's a dystopian feel to it that I relate to a lot." Do you consider our current era to be dystopian?
I think in a lot of ways, yeah, and I certainly think that things will continue in that direction more so than they are now. But depending on where you live, it just kind of seems like society as a whole and as a world society is kind of moving in that direction.
It also seems like in Colorado specifically, that emotion isn't very touched on with music. And I don't know if it's because it's so warm here and people are really
Nice in general,
outdoorsy. But in other places, like in Europe, that emotion is more expressed and common and sought after than it is here.
Okay, you stated that you do feel that society is moving in a more dystopian direction. Which classic dystopian vision of the future do you see to be more realistic? More of Orwell's brutal brainwashing regime of 1984, or kind of Aldous Huxley's fat, dumb, and happy society of drugged-up apathy and excess described in Brave New World?
That's a really great question. I think it depends on the part of the world you live in. Certainly somewhere like China or North Korea is going to be more Orwellian. And I think there's definitely a kind of Brave New World feel to like the hedonistic aspects of our society. I think that both of those things will probably be realized at some point in the future.
And come into conflict with each other, probably.
Probably, yeah, definitely.
Great answer. Cassie, I read that you spent most of your childhood growing up in a cabin with no electricity in the hills near Lyons. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, given that perspective, does it affect how you view the role of TV and devices in society today, especially with kids?
Yeah, I haven't had a phone for like 4 years. I'm not against technology. It's actually something that I feel like is really helpful to society as far as like having all access to knowledge at any time. But growing up in the mountains, there was a kind of independent vibe from like do-it-yourself kind of vibe where you would have your own gardens, you would pump your own water, you kind of are self-sufficient. And I think that I wouldn't have those experiences without, or my opinions on that without living and growing up in the mountains, because a lot of people take for granted everyday things like water or electricity, or they don't know where their trash goes or where their waste goes or anything like that. So I think when you see that more, you're more conscious of your decisions and your actions, and you understand the consequences more.
Well, guys, I want to thank you for taking time to sit down and talk with us. Sounds like the show's getting underway, so we'll get in there and check it out.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.